Tonight at 6, a teen shot and killed on Madison's east side is being remembered as fearless. News 3 spent some time with the girl's family today and shares some of their memories of her. Flooding remains a concern for Wisconsin as more rain is possible tonight. We have live team coverage of the flooding going on right now in the Badger State.
This is News 3 at 6.
Communities all across the Midwest, including many here in Wisconsin, are dealing with flooding, and more rain is expected throughout the evening. We have live team coverage tonight on how the flooding is impacting Wisconsin. Dave Caulfield, Adam Duxter, and Jamie Perez have been watching conditions in all parts of the state. We start with Adam Duxter in Rock County. Good evening, Adam.
How's it going? Most of the flooding we saw today in Rock County has already receded, but other damages caused by yesterday's rain and wind will take a little bit longer to fix. Today, crews had to use a crane. A tree along Wright Street had come down on top of a house. They used that crane to pick up the tree in order to protect the garage it came down on. Some people are worried about the rain that's going to continue to come this week, but officials say it should not be as bad as the storms last night.
I think at this point people are getting ready and cleaning up their houses, getting rid of that debris and trying to put things back in order after the storm.
Luckily for people, homeowners for the home that got crushed by the tree, no one was home at the time. And today we talked with crews that were trying to declog a storm drain. They said it was leaves and other yard clippings that clogged the storm drain, which caused the street to flood. So something to keep in mind as you're going to discard your yard waste.
Adam Duxter reporting tonight. Adam, thank you. This is what people are dealing with over the state line in Rockford, Illinois. Heavy rains and sudden flooding left people and cars stranded throughout the city yesterday. Parts of the Mercy Health Hospital flooded. No water got into patient areas, so the hospital did not have to evacuate. But the water did impact communications and one of its main pharmacies. Dane County leaders are also worried about seeing more rain. They have declared slow, no-wake restrictions for several lakes in our area. Orders for Lake Monona, Waubesa, and Kaganza are effective immediately. Levels on Lake Kaganza are exceeding 100-year flood levels. Let's check in now with meteorologist Dave Caulfield for the latest. Dave?
Charlotte, we did have some pretty good rain this morning, but during the afternoon and into the early evening hours, the radar is looking quiet, so at least that's some good news. Visible cloud track showing the clouds have been with us all day, and that's not going to change as we head into the next couple of hours. Doppler track, though, the bulk of any rain or thunderstorm activity is in Illinois and Indiana right now. In southern Wisconsin, not really seeing all that much, just a little bit of drizzle and patchy shower activity as we head into tonight. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s across the area. That is a big difference from where we were yesterday at this time, about 15 degrees cooler across the area. Dew points are in the 60s and no more 70s showing up, so a little bit less humid outside in spots. This evening, mostly cloudy with a chance of maybe a few showers and an isolated thunderstorm or two. Temperatures dropping into the mid-60s. We'll track our next couple of chances for rain. Talk about temperatures staying in the 70s in your first alert forecast.
Dave, thank you. The upper Midwest is also seeing major flooding this evening. Jamie Perez joins us on the weather patio now with an update on conditions in this region. Jamie?
That's right, Charlotte. Well, authorities have attributed yet another death here in Wisconsin to these widespread storms that have caused a lot of flooding across northern Wisconsin, even going so far as to saying 55-year-old man from Minnesota and a 75-year-old man died as a result of the storms. 5 counties up north, those include Ashland, Bayfields, Burnett, Douglas, and Iron, are under a state of emergency. Heavy rains even causing a dam in Douglas County to fail. Several roads in these counties also remain closed tonight after the rain washed them away. The rain also causing dozens of sinkholes on roads across the region. Some summer school classes in the Superior School District were canceled because of the weather as well. Now, Wisconsin is not the only state in the upper Midwest region to be seeing these major flooding symptoms. Both Michigan and Minnesota are also affected. Charlotte?
Jamie Perez reporting tonight. Jamie, thank you. Milwaukee drivers also had to watch out for localized flooding. Several cars got stuck on flooded streets around the city last night. The Red Cross helped several families displaced by the flooding. If your plans depend on the weather, you need to get our accurate 12-hour and 10-day forecast and up-to-the-moment traffic information on the go. Download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app and be the first to know. Madison police continue to investigate a deadly shooting involving a teen. Officers were called to a quick trip on Madison's east side on Buckeye Road just off Stoughton last Wednesday. There, they found 15-year-old Amaria Kimbrough with a gunshot wound. Officers said the shooting appeared to be accidental, but they're still piecing together what happened. Amaria was from Cottage Grove, but went to Monona Grove High School. She died on Friday at the hospital. Both the Monona Grove and Cottage Grove communities are remembering the teen. Rose Schmidt talked with her family today as they shared memories of Amaria.
That's right, and they called her a fearless teenager, and they said that she left an impression everywhere she went. They'll remember her for her love and passion for music.
If I give you all of me, just give me all of you. Don't have me looking like a fool.
15-year-old Amaria Kimbrough has been singing ever since her family can remember.
Hi, my name is Amaria, and I will be singing Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. Ooh, don't, 'cause you'll always be my baby.
Amaria loved to cover songs by Mariah Carey, one of her biggest inspirations, along with other pop stars. She dreamed of becoming a model or a singer herself, dreams her parents always wanted to come true. As a 14th birthday present, they brought her to a recording studio, and she recorded a song called Promise.
I promise, to be honest.
Amaria was a sophomore at Monona Grove High School. The district says counselors will be available for anyone in the school community over the week. Amaria's mom says she was involved in choir at school, and she could do it all, from singing to dancing and even writing poetry. Her mom says she was silly and fun and so fearless. In addition to having so many friends, Amaria was the third of 10 children. So many people will miss her and the love and the energy she gave to the people around her.
What a beautiful voice. And a family friend set up a GoFundMe page to help her family pay for funeral expenses. We have a link to that fundraiser up on our website, channel3000.com. They have a goal of like $10,000.
What a beautiful young lady.
Yeah, definitely. And
So sad.
She'll be missed by so many people.
Thank you, Rose. The principal at Sherman Middle School is resigning following public criticism from a former teacher and parents at the school. Last week, teacher Karen Veith wrote a blog post voicing strong concerns with Principal Kristen Foreman. In the post, Veith questioned the principal's service to the school and says she left because of the lack of leadership. Madison district representatives say they are now working with Principal Foreman on getting another job within the district. She's been a principal at Sherman Middle School for the past 3 years. Amidst the email informing the Sherman community about Foreman's resignation, the teacher who originally wrote the blog post that set this in motion sent us this response. She says all students deserve to have a safe and rigorous learning environment. She also went on to say she's relieved to know that someone is finally listening, not to her, but the families the district serves. District leaders issued a response to News 3 saying they plan to introduce a new interim principal in the next few weeks to ensure the leaders' involvement in planning for a strong start to the next school year. Well, tickets are officially for sale for this year's CrossFit Games. The games will be held from August 1st to the 5th at the Alliant Energy Center. 560 elite athletes from around the world will compete for the title of fittest on earth. City leaders say more than 70,000 attended last year's event, and it generated around $12 million in spending throughout Dane County. Just ahead on News 3 at 6, Governor Walker is taking some heat for his decision to send Wisconsin National Guard troops down to our country's southern border. Governor Walker says the Trump administration's decision to separate children from parents who cross the nation's southern border illegally is a federal issue. Some are criticizing his decision to deploy more than 20 Wisconsin National Guard troops to Arizona to help secure the country's border. A spokeswoman for Governor Walker says Trump's policy is a federal one and anyone with concerns should contact their federal lawmakers. She said Wisconsin troops will handle administrative work at the border and the federal government is funding their deployment. A number of governors upset with the family separations have decided to recall their National Guard troops from the border. Some Wisconsin residents are protesting the Supreme Court's unanimous decision to send Wisconsin's redistricting lawsuit back to the lower courts. Protesters say they will continue to rally for changes in the way redistricting maps are drawn. They're calling themselves the Wisconsin Fair Maps Coalition. They're asking for independent redistricting reform, taking it out of the hands of politicians. They're also hoping the redistricting issue becomes part of this fall's legislative campaigns. Wisconsin State Senator Dave Hansen says he plans to reintroduce the fair mapping legislation in January when lawmakers return. 2 Janesville businesses are set to close, impacting around 200 jobs in the city. Daniels of Janesville and Aryan Specialty Brands will close in the coming months. And we'll have more on how this will impact the Janesville community tonight on News 3 at 10. Coming up, police video showing the arrest of Milwaukee Bucks player gained national attention. Now the city's police department is facing a lawsuit for how officers handled the situation. That story next at 6.
The rain chances continue into the rest of the work week, but the weekend, that may finally be a different, drier story. I'll have your forecast in just a few minutes.
Milwaukee Bucks guard Sterling Brown is accusing Milwaukee police officers of discriminating against him because he's black. Today, Brown's attorney filed a lawsuit in federal court alleging excessive force and unlawful arrest. Brown had been talking with officers while waiting for a citation for illegally parking in a disabled spot. Officers swarmed Brown and took him down because he didn't immediately remove his hands from his pockets. Body cam video of the incident has gained national attention.
You've seen the video. It is clear and evident that Mr. Brown was just there. He'd come out of the store, and all he needed was a ticket, and he would have been on his way. 12 minutes, he was left sitting or laying on the ground after being abused. This kind of conduct must stop.
The Milwaukee police chief apologized to Brown. Brown wasn't charged, and 3 officers were disciplined. Governor Walker says the new state office building in Milwaukee will be named after African-American civil rights leader Vel Phillips. Phillips died in April at the age of 95. She was the first African-American on the Milwaukee Common Council, the first African-American judge in Wisconsin, and the first African-American elected to statewide office, serving as Secretary of State. The location for the new office building in Milwaukee has yet to be selected. And meteorologist Dave Caulfield joins us now with a look at your forecast.
And after such a rainy May, you would expect us to get a little bit of a break in June, but that has not happened in the least. 13 out of 19 days so far this month have featured some sort of rain. No days or no 2-day stretch of no rain. It's just crazy stuff when we're thinking about it. And we had more rain this morning, some pretty heavy showers and thunderstorms coming through. A lot of areas still dealing with flooding from this rain over the past couple of days or so. You can see, I really don't want to keep showing this map, folks, but I have to because we have had so much rain over the past week or so, and really this whole month overall. We started off with just a little bit of rain over the first 7 days or so. A lot of rainy days, but not necessarily a lot of rain. That has switched a little bit over the last week and a half or so. So we are now up above normal for the entire month of June, and we still have about a third of this month to go. And as far as rainy days are concerned, as I mentioned, 13 out of 19 so far. When you look at the last 5 or 6 years, that is getting up close to the highest pace that we've seen over the past half decade or so. But 2014, 2013, and 2012 are interesting. One, they're all back-to-back, but 20 out of 30 days in June of 2014, we had some sort of rain. 18 out of 30 in 2013, and both of those years had at least top 5 rainiest Junes, and the year before that, 2012, we actually had the driest June on record with only 11 out of 30 days. So we'll see if this pace keeps up. It's a really, really strong pace, but hopefully we can get a couple of days without that rain. We're not seeing too much rain show up on Doppler track at the present time, which is good news, but a little bit of some drizzle and some light shower activity can't be ruled out over the next few hours. Most of that rain, the bulk of that rain and thunderstorm activity still in northern and north central Illinois into Indiana right now. A couple of showers in the Minneapolis area as well. So our departure from normal, we're about 1.5 inches ahead of schedule in Madison, and hopefully that number doesn't go up anymore. Our high temperature trend, if I could share some good news finally, is that we will be rather close to normal and actually a little bit below normal over the next couple of days. On Friday, we'll barely make it into the 70s with more rain expected, but temperatures will be hovering around 80 degrees as we head into next week. Speaking of those temperatures, we're at 67 in Madison, 68 in Janesville, 70 in Mineral Point, much cooler compared to this time yesterday. Temperatures have only moved about 5 degrees northward over the course of today. Pretty crazy stuff. Dew points in the 60s, so a little bit on the humid side, but definitely better than we have been. And wind speeds out of the north and northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So tonight, a few showers possible, mostly cloudy skies with temperatures near 60. For tomorrow, not as cool. Can't rule out a shower or thunderstorm, but the chances aren't looking all that likely, folks, with temperatures near mid-70s. That's what I meant to say. 60 is tonight. Future track showing things staying maybe a little bit showery into tonight and early tomorrow morning. After that, though, maybe a little bit of sunshine. Hooray, as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, especially north of Madison. I think that's the best chance for seeing the most sunshine. But I can't rule out any showers on Wednesday and on Thursday either. We should have mostly dry weather, but we definitely do need to keep that umbrella at the ready over the next couple of days. Your 7-day forecast showing temperatures staying in the 70s as we head into the weekend, but Sunday and Monday are looking dry, which is great news because the humidity and storm chances come back in full as we head to the middle of next week.
This week's American Family Insurance Championship has a bigger meaning than just a golf tournament for the longtime voice of Badger hockey. We'll catch up with Paul Brown in sports. The Brewers are playing in Pittsburgh again. They're already leading 2-0 on a Jesus Aguilar homer in the first. Freddie Peralta's starting. He's up from the minors. Boone Logan was designated for assignment. The Brewers are back in first place in the NL Central, at least for the moment, at Wrigley Field. The Dodgers' Kyle Farmer hit a 2-out, 2-run pinch hit double in the top of the ninth to beat the Cubs 4-3 in the first game of a day-night doubleheader. The Brewers now have a half-game lead on the Cubs. World Cup today, crazy goal here. The referee allows Senegal's Mbaye Niang to substitute for an injured player. The Poland defender doesn't see him coming on. Oh, the steal and the score. Senegal beats Poland 2-1. Also today, Russia 3, Egypt 1. Japan surprised Colombia 2-1. This week's American Family Insurance Championship isn't just a golf tournament. It's also raised millions of dollars for local charities in its first 2 years. This year, there's a new charitable partner, Birdies to End Alzheimer's. Paul Brown was the longtime voice of Badger hockey, and to him, this endeavor is very personal. Melissa Kim has the story.
You know the voice.
I'm Paul Brown, so long for now, from Madison.
But behind that voice is a love story between Paul and Karen, or KK, and the outdoors.
Those are the times when we had the most fun time together.
But after she turned 59, something changed and kept changing.
We set it up to take her fishing. And after about 5 minutes, it became evident she didn't know how to hold a rod and she didn't know how to reel it in. That's how much of a change there was.
Karen spent the final 8 years of her life battling early onset Alzheimer's. Paul took care of her, all on his own, for 5 years.
It was the right thing to do. It was for better or worse, in sickness and in health, until death do us part.
Until one night,
all of a sudden, she started screaming in front of the mirror, "Get that blankety blank woman out of the house." She starts pounding on the glass over there. And I went over to grab her to stop her from doing that. And then she pushed me away and said, "You're trying to hurt me, you're trying to hurt me."
Paul then realized he had to break a promise to KK, one that hurt him, that they would never leave each other's side.
The most difficult thing I've ever had to do in my life was to place her in that facility and turn around and walk out the door. The last 4 months of her life, I'd sit with her and she'd look at me and she'd say, "Is Paul coming?"
Karen passed away on October 2nd, 2015. And now Paul and his longtime friend, Dennis Tiziani, they're spreading love to other families dealing with Alzheimer's because they need it.
That I just don't think that a lot of people are getting behind that, or they're being honest with how they really feel about it, because it is, you know, my wife or my husband has this and she's lost it, or he's lost it.
So they're changing that. For the first time at this year's American Family Insurance Championship, you can pledge as little as a dime for every birdie hit in the tournament. 100% of the proceeds will go towards research right here at UW.
Thank you to the people that have contributed. If you haven't and you'd like to become part of it, you still have time.
So that the ending to this story and thousands of others like it will still have lots of love. In Madison, Melissa Kim, News 3 Sports.
And if you want to contribute, birdies to endalz.com, and Melissa's also posting a story on our website, channel3000.com as well. So how about that, huh?
What a love story.
And Paul's been so dedicated not only to his wife, but to the cause, and we really encourage everyone to take a look and consider contributing.
At least a dime, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely nothing.
It's so important, too. And hopefully the weather cooperates for all the festivities. And tonight, we do have a chance of maybe a few showers or an isolated thunderstorm. Tomorrow, slight chance of showers and storms. Maybe a little bit of sunshine, though, in the afternoon with temperatures in the mid-70s for highs. 7-day forecast showing temperatures staying in the 70s with more storm chances for the rest of this week, but the weekend looking dry.
All right, thank you. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.